everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Simplified. In today's market update, we shall be looking at crypto news from around the world. There's been positive, there's been negative, and there has been a downright bloodbath in the markets. However, before I continue, I'd like to congratulate every single member of the India-based LGBTQ community for standing strong and getting Section 377 repealed for good. Of course, this is just the beginning. There's plenty of progress up ahead, but this is a start, and a start that we can most definitely celebrate. So before we get into this market update, I want to thank all of you folks for being a bunch of fantastic subscribers. We are working towards that 1100 sub mark, and I want to thank all you folks for hanging around. I know I've not been uploading as much as I would have liked to, but there's been construction on the left, construction on the right, and planes flying overhead. It's been impossible to record. So thank you folks for your loyalty. Thank you for sticking through with me. And I do really want to repay all of that with some great content. So let's get right into this market update. The market value of almost all the top currency just nosedived last night. An absolute nosedive. We lost about 28 billion US dollars, maybe even more than that, just overnight, wiped out. When I woke up this morning, there were several cryptocurrencies. More than half actually were facing losses of over 20%. Things seem to have got a little better now that people have been buying the bottom, or this local bottom that we've reached. No one actually knows how far down this is going to go further. Some people say this positive price action that we experienced in the last few days has been a dead cat bounce. That's a term in the finance community to show that even a dead cat, when you throw it, will bounce. So even when an asset hits the bottom, people trying to buy the bottom and selling it on the volatility, people are going to do that, and that is, it seems like that's what's happened over here. Positive price action, it's just a stable coin. Otherwise, there doesn't seem to be too much positive price movement out of these coins in the top 100. However, if you go to page 2, the losses are most definitely still there, but we have some green. Of course, these aren't coins that I know too much about, and we also have a few stable coins here and there. But if any of these coins interest you, do let me know and I shall have a look. If that whole pullback caught you by surprise, it most definitely caught me by surprise, because of all the sentiment I was seeing on Twitter was alt-run coming, alt-run coming. I hadn't put that much more money in at that point because I was waiting for another pullback. I wasn't expecting a pullback, but I just got massive trust issues with the way this market just suddenly drops overnight. But it turns out that those trust issues sort of kept me safe in this. But we do have one savant on crypto Twitter called Shill Gates, who called it. He said, while everyone is talking about alt runs, he was prepared for another pullback, and I highly recommend you watch this video. The guy's commentary is absolutely hilarious. Link in the description, as for all my sources. But if you want to know why this has happened, you need to look at the movement of the money. Follow the money, you'll get a lot of the answers over here. And a wallet with 111,000 Bitcoin transferred this money out into 2 exchange accounts. You got Bitfinex and Binance. Bitfinex has a fiat bank, but Binance is just for trading altcoins. So while it's entirely possible that this whale who has this quite frankly ridiculous amount of Bitcoin, while this whale might be selling some off, they might also be accumulating alts in anticipation of another bull run. However, this is just speculation using the very limited amounts of information that we currently have. However, I am still bullish on this. I believe that a recovery will happen. When it will happen, I do not know, but I think this is just a lesson for all of us. Never spend all your available capital. I live in India. I have set money aside to buy more crypto, but my bank is not allowed to deal with cryptocurrency exchanges. If you're one of the lucky people who does not have to jump through all these hurdles to buy cryptocurrency, it seems like your accumulation period is still going on. Is this the bottom? That's a decision for you to make. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. But the prices now are much lower than they were 24 hours ago. It all depends on your buy-sell points. Do you think it's a good time to enter? I see Ethereum at a ridiculously low price right now. So Ethereum is just hovering over that 200 USD mark and $226 for one entire Ethereum. And I think that's incredible. For me, that's fantastic value. That's your decision to make if you want to buy. But if I could, I would be buying right now. And that's something that's really, really frustrating me. We have an announcement from the Indian government on the 11th of September. And then they will be telling us more information about how they're going to go forward with cryptocurrency regulation and legality. But more on that later on in this video. First up, we need to look at the most divisive piece of news in the cryptocurrency community. And that is Shapeshift and their new KYC policy. Shapeshift is a service that a lot of us have used. If you haven't used it, this is a platform to freely exchange between cryptocurrencies without really trying to go through the whole charade of finding a buyer or buy order on the market and filling it. This is like a liquidity company that really helps you freely move between cryptocurrencies, and they have now bent to government regulation. So this article by our friend Nirvarshne just talks about the different perspectives regarding this. Some people are pro Shapeshift, saying that, okay, government was always going to come in, you had to bend to their rules or risk being closed down. Other people who are more on the libertarian side of things are saying that if you're not going to give the service the way it was initially intended, without the government control, you may as well shut it down. Andreas Antonopoulos has also chimed in on this, but I should attach the link in the description. I don't want to read out the article for you. There's lots of news to cover in this video. I highly recommend you check out this article because there are lots of people who are very prominent voices in this community giving their 2 satoshis on what's actually going on over here. But where do you stand on this? Do you think Shapeshift has been right to side with the government, or do you think they should just shut down their business? Remember, it's very easy for us who don't have any financial stake in the Shapeshift company to say, I should just shut it down. If it was your own money, what would you actually do? Next up, I mentioned the news about India. This is another article on Bitcoin.com that talks about the aftermath of the RBI ban. While there's not a lot of new information over here, it's very obvious that lots of eyes are on the Supreme Court because this ruling on the 11th of September could be significant. Could be really bad for us, could be really good for us, but a lot of the articles about this date, the 11th of September ruling, are posted in July. So there's been nothing in the whole month of August, well, nothing telling in the whole month of August that's actually giving us deeper insight into what's actually happening. We do know that there has been a delegation of government officials visiting the UK, Switzerland, and Japan, places where there's lots of cryptocurrency regulation, or they have managed to just integrate cryptocurrencies quite successfully into the way things are run over there. So the government obviously wants to learn from people who've already been there, done that. That's a smart perspective to take. But I think this is too little too late, because there was a map that I saw about the legality of cryptocurrency worldwide. The only places where cryptocurrency legality is being questioned are places where corruption is rampant. So we need to find a way to get corrupt government officials to vote against their own interests while getting rid of the whole bullshit rhetoric of cryptocurrency being a tool for the worst part of society. And we need to find a way to actually empower all the people in a place where banks are not trusted all that much. People will still, even post demonetization, people with bank accounts will still rather have assets in gold, because the Indian housewife believes that gold will never get devalued. When will Bitcoin take the space of gold in this sort of thinking? It'll be a generational shift. Next, more regulation talk, but this time in Iran. So Iran recognizes cryptocurrency mining as a legitimate industry, and this is a country that has very very cheap electricity. So I read a tweet, I should look for it and attach it in the description, that it costs about $200 worth of electricity to mine a single Bitcoin in Iran. This could potentially be a game changer, and it could really stimulate growth of cryptocurrency in a place where there has been authoritarian tendency by the government, but the fact that the government are accepting Bitcoin mining as legitimate, it completely blows the whole situation wide open. If we have Iran-based mining farms coming up, it'll just decentralize cryptocurrency further. And if this is a means for people to invest in Iran, a country that will probably always be open to foreign direct investment, this could benefit them. Irrespective of what you think about the political state over there, growth is growth, and we do want people to be able to choose how they can become prosperous. It's all about choice. People should be able to follow their dreams, should be able to put enough food on the table for their families and a roof over their families' heads. If cryptocurrency is a way for people to do that, fantastic, I'm all in favor of it. Next up, we have some more adoption news. This time, the Brave browser has 4 million monthly active users. So this number grew by 1 million in just 2 months. I shall attach this article in the description for you to check out. And while I have expressed skepticism about Brave being able to successfully take some market share away from Google Chrome, they seem to be doing fairly well for themselves. Of course, their whole ad model for me is something that's a little bit broken, because people opting in to see ads, that isn't exactly accurate, because when we get our ads, and with all this tracking information that current browsers actually use, it's much more valuable for salespeople and for advertisers to actually get that information, because that is information chosen naturally. This is very opt-in, and it might not give advertisers the full picture. So in terms of actually strengthening advertising models, I don't really know how far this can go. But if you think that I'm looking at this wrong, do let me know in the comments. Next up, you might have heard about the very, very controversial ASIC Boost. Turns out that it's been quietly reactivated. So for those who do not know about ASIC Boost, it is a patented technology owned by Bitmain. So what this enables miners to do is to use about 20% less electricity to mine blocks, therefore giving miners using this ASIC Boost an unfair advantage. As the name suggests, it's only really applicable on ASIC mining rigs, which is why a lot of the smaller cryptocurrency projects have hard forked away to prevent their cryptocurrency being mined in this way. It's all in a bid to prevent centralization. Vertcoin has done this, Monero has done this. If you have any suggestions of other companies that have done this, do leave it in the comments. But there is a website that tracks what percentage of Bitcoin is mined using this. So I shall attach this link in the description. What this basically shines a light on are these dodgy practices that are happening all over the cryptocurrency space, and this is why I think we need regulation. Regulation to stop the bad actors from really taking advantage of how new all of this actually is. Couple this with the dodgy numbers with the Bitmain IPO, plus Samson Mao leaving the project, plus some very public war of words, plus the Bitcoin Cash hard fork, the Craig Wright Bitcoin Cash hard fork. This is looking to be a very, very messy situation, shrouded in a whole bunch of ethical shortcuts over here. So do let me know what you folks think about this. What's going to happen to Bitcoin Cash and Bitmain once all the dust settles? Next up, we have some pretty scary news. A Chrome extension, the MegaUpload Chrome extension, has been compromised. And while this article specifically talks about Monero wallets being compromised, this extension could actually compromise a whole bunch of accounts that someone can have. So Amazon, GitHub, and Google are mentioned over here, but this also has the potential to steal away your cryptocurrency. So red alert, if you have the Mega extension on Chrome. Please uninstall it as quickly as possible. The extension seems to be okay on Firefox, but just to be safe, I would disable it and wait for all of this to blow over. And finally, we will finish this market update with a look at the fine art world and how cryptocurrency can actually change things for the better. In this instance, we have an Andy Warhol painting called 14 Electric Chairs that was tokenized and sold on a blockchain. This CCN article has a whole bunch of information, link in the description. Basically what it does is that it breaks up this painting into a whole bunch of ownable tokens, and it enables lots of people to have a share of this painting. So there were over 800 bidders, but 100 participants bought a 31.5% stake of this painting. Which painting is it, you ask? It's this one, 14 Electric Chairs. Cool. So the company is called Macenas, and the founders are from Argentina, and they want to democratize the art market. Well, here is their company website, and they've been mentioned in a whole bunch of massive publications. But my big concern, straight off the bat, is the team, because they are not gallery owners. They're not members of some of the big auction houses. This is very problematic to me because of how closed the art world is. You can be a fantastic artist, but it just depends on who's buying your paintings and in which galleries these paintings are being displayed. So that's a huge stumbling block. While I am a huge fan of this whole democratization idea of something that's actually reserved only for the elite, it goes far beyond just the simple acts of buying and selling. But they do have some fantastic use cases with this model that they are proposing. The amount of money lost due to commissions can be about 30 to 50%, especially for the seller, because the seller just wants to get rid of their painting to get the money. But they need to have a broker calls another broker, and so on and so forth. So there tends to be lots and lots of middlemen on here. So by having a platform, this platform's been around for a while, over 2 years, but having a platform like this to enable the easy buying and selling of very expensive goods could be revolutionary in a way, but I still believe this is very, very, very niche. People who can afford art, people who like art, people who care about cryptocurrency. If you draw this as a Venn diagram, there'll be a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of people who will be eligible to even use this platform. However, those tiny number of individuals could make up for a huge amount of money. If you are a fan of the show Adam Ruins Everything, you might know how closed and maybe even fixed this art world seems. But if this is something that you're interested in, do leave a comment, do let me know what you think. If you'd like me to have an in-depth review on this project, I'd absolutely love to do that. So that seems to be all. This is Marv from Crypto Simplified, signing off. If you folks enjoyed the video, do leave me a like. If you didn't, I would love some constructive criticism to give you the best content that I possibly can. So you folks take care. We shall catch up very, very soon. Later.
When I be pulling up, she be getting it. I've been rolling, she been rolling with her best friends. Red cup, I've been drinking way too much. The world is on my shoulder, left and right, I pour it up. I think I need a second, but a second ain't enough. And so I take a minute when I get this gut punch. Where we riding to? I wanna ride with you. This my man Ski, I got D2.